Hello everyone. This is going to be my first version of the Assassin Sorcerer build. I'll tell you how I played it, I'll tell you what I would change, and I'll explain how I would branch it out. So I pick High Elf, and as my assassins sometimes, but because of one thing, and that is called Minor Illusion. I barely pick Firebolt ever. To start with, the Sorcerer, you start with Constitution Proficiency throws, which will be good for our concentration, which will be, you guessed it, Haste. Unless you also get into Cleric and then maybe you want... I don't think 16 Constitution and 14 Dex, but like 14 Wisdom and 14 Dex. That's something else. As far as cantrips go, these are my go-to. Minor Illusion is very, very good for any assassin build, any rogue build, any range build. Or Ray of Frost. I prefer Ray of Frost because it just thirds down a movement. Shocking Grasp lets you disengage. And this one prevents healing. Also has Undead for later effect. But if you want, just take Blade Ward, Light. Mage Hand is pretty good. As far as spells go, usually this is what you get as a Sorcerer level 1. If I weren't going straight up into Rogue 3 from here, live Chrome Orb, finish the Nautiloid, and when you get to Act 1 and level up, take Shield. Because only then do you actually start getting attacked without restorations. For the sake of this build, I'm going to take Shield as level 1. Now, as far as Draconic Bloodline goes, you can pick white for cold and go for cold. There's a lot of optimization for that. It's a great build. But the main thing is you get auto-prepared Armor of Agathys for the entire game. That then you don't need Shield, basically. But I don't remember anyone touching me in melee almost ever, because I started with 16 armor class for having no armor, because you start with a sorcerer, you get just a robe, and you get the dex plus 3. I chose specifically lightning. It works the best with a lot of stuff. It works with the cleric, tempest, and it works with what in general. Also, this is a concentration one, which is early, and until we get the Storm Sorcery spells, it's level 6, which comes out around level, what, 10 to 12. There are a lot of other things we can do without taking Storm Sorcery. I'll take the Storm Sorcery on another route to show you the differences. As far as abilities go, 16, 14, 12, and 16. We don't need a lot of wisdom. We just need a couple of slots that it gives us. But even for a non-cleric build, you want to be as untouchable as you can be. And I'm going to make us as untouchable as we can do. So every goddamn attack roll will be at least with advantage. And when you're going to do in multiples of 2d8s or 2d6s, and you have advantages and minuses for crits, and you're going to slap so much damage on anyone, you can have that shot with a special arrow. I'm still going to race you to any Nova damage, because I get 2 full turns. One of them just has 1 action that is not haste and a bonus action. The other one has 2 actions and a bonus action. That is more than you get from Gloomstalker, and that is more than you get from Above Thief. Abilities, go with whatever you want, but I did take this one as the Astarion, basically. It was my sleight of hand, stealth, perception, and some conversation stuff. One thing to note, persuasion and deception are better to take as abilities, just because if you take cleric, intimidation and performance you have thaumaturgy for advantage. Otherwise, take what you want. I always say take one from the -1, so you have at least a plus on these when you have checks. Arcana is kind of important. You can keep the insight, of course. Do whatever you feel like. Spread it out. There's going to be a wizard build for this, so this will be like +3, and the charisma will be much less of an issue, and then you won't have it as a face. So think about how you want to create that one. Next up, we go rogue. And I'm gonna just go rogue 3, and I chose perception, expertise, and stealth expertise. These are way more. This is way more important for me, trap-wise at least, because this is a relatively to a rogue. This is the jack of all trades of rogue. You know, you do the perception, the sleight of hand, and the stealth, plus the talks. You're everywhere, every win. Also, we get the sneak attacks, of course. Level 2 of rogue or level 3 of the character. We get the cunning actions that come as bonus action, disengage, dash, and hide. This is, of course, our main one. Level 3 rogue, we ignore the existence of Arcane Trickster, and now I'm gonna go to talk about Thief. If you're using endless sorcery points, good for you. Do it. Use Thief. That is too many spells that you can abuse, and how many times you want. There's no question this is better. You don't need haste to make 3 spells in a turn. You're still not gonna have my Nova damage, I think. And you're gonna have to have a turn 2, almost like that, relatively to the amount. So with Assassin, we get everyone to be to attack with advantage on, because we're gonna be first, and we're gonna get make sure that we do. Those surprise creatures get crit hits. So how about thunder damage? That is a 3d8 doing 6d8 now on level 5. That is a level 1 spell. The next level is 88. And of course, which is why we take the Assassin, is we prep ourselves while attacking you, getting you surprised, exposed to the critical hits, and we have do everything again, and that's without cheesing the game, so to speak, that honor mode blocked from the free riding attacks. Level 5. Yeah, no. We go back to Sorcerer. Now we for sure take Chromatic Orb. Now, if you took the white Dragon Ancestry... Wait a minute. And let's say we replace this. Take whatever you want here. Ice Knife is terrific. I would actually take something like Featherfall. Something that can benefit the party if you want. Fog Cloud is one of my favorites actually as an assassin. I always have this. Expeditious Retreat if you think you are that much of a coward. I accept that. I understand that. I've been on honor mode. I am on honor mode. I fled with everything I had from one battle, and I wished I had Expeditious Retreat. I get it. Thunderwave is terrific if you're not planning on taking cleric levels. Class passives. Twinned is, of course, I think an automate. Distance is because we don't want anyone to see us, watch us, look at us before we start killing people, or at least proning them, or doing hundreds of damage. It's just ridiculous. Careful Spell is actually not that good here because we're not gonna Fireball, Lightning Bolt into areas. The max we're gonna do is like Ice Storm or Storm Sorcery or Storm Lightning. Storm Lightning actually comes with Storm Sorcery, but you get the idea. We're not doing those things while our crew is in front. It's still in the back. And your front should have the boots that prevent thrown or prevent you to um, slip on ice. As far as spells go, like I said, do whatever you want. You still have whatever. You still have those. Let's say you pick Asanaf. Anyway, we're going to change it next turn because next turn we get level 2 spells. First off, class passive is going to be quickened. You also get subtle. If you go to, what is it, level 10, take it just in case. I'd say, though I guess heightened spells probably better. As far as spells go, you can take Scorching Ray here, and I'm gonna get to all of these in a second. Why I'm not taking it here. My picks, because I am a coward as well sometimes, is Misty Step because Misty Step is probably the best option you can get. And this is my coward part of me. I also took Mirror Image. I do not regret it for 1 second. That allowed me to be solo, so to speak, before everyone comes to me. And then I have another Sorcerer Tempest with Storm Sorcery, a Throw Barb, and with all of that, Lae'zel is jumping in as a 6/6 War Cleric fighter into everyone. And then I just complete the damage with Magic Missiles, Scorching Rays, and that's it. Let's say I didn't have them. I still have high-grade spells with AoEs that's called Chrome Orb that I can twin and quicken. And even if you don't, even if you use, let's say, 5e rules for that, and your bonus action on this is a cantrip, you can still do Ice Frost and do the max damage. At least, you know, like 68 at level 10 plus, or 48 at earlier levels, or 2d8 at very, very beginning, which we are already out of. And alongside with Wet, this is double, so it's actually like 68, 88 damage from a cantrip, and without abusing the game. We took everything we needed, and here's to the why I didn't take anything so far. Those spells so far. First of all, cantrips, again, take what you want at level 7. If you don't have light, take light. This is a round when you'll be... you should be already at Act 2, I think. Or at the very bottom, let's call it, of the Act 1.5. Or the bridge between 1 and 2 in the Rosemary area and the Crash. I think it's half an act. Okay, so Sorcerer doesn't have all spells, which is why I'm going to do this on Wizard, because if you see this on screen, then I actually managed to do something well. Cantrips, Chromatic Orb, Melf's Acid Arrow, Scorching Ray, Ray of Enfeeblement, Witch Bolt, Ray of Sickness, Ice Knife, Inflict Wounds, and Guiding Bolt, with the latter two being Cleric ones, specifically. All of these are attack roll spells. They go with your Charisma. And I'll show it in a moment. So, spells as far as you want Scorching Ray now. As far as replacing one, we have no need, because the feat that we are going to take on every single build of a Sorcerer Rogue where you can is going to be Spell Sniper, and you're going to choose most probably Eldritch Blast. You don't need to be a Warlock to enjoy what this thing can do. Of course, you can do Warlock too, you can do whatever you want. And I have a build that includes Warlock too, and it's just silly. The build mainly. And then we get to level 5 Sorcerer, and much like every level 8 that goes with 3 Rogue with its 5 main, this one instead of bonus attack gets haste. As far as second spell goes, do whatever you want. I actually used each and every one of these all the time. I don't know even what I would exchange it to. The only one that I cared about here was Counterspell, and I have another cost. We can do Hypnotic Pattern on Snow, but we can get it next, and I really don't want to abuse the spell slots I have on this character for counterspell. I want someone else to do the counterspell for some things that are coming against me, because uh, I'm going to do the whole damage against those who haven't attacked yet. Now, if you go, for example, on Act 3, the Steel Watchers are very, very high on initiative. So what could happen, for example, is I have Shadowheart with alert, acting before Astarion does, and then the Steel Watcher between them. So you're only left with the fists. And if you don't finish the fists, because, you know, more calm, which happens a lot, because I just kill everyone I can in Act 3, like the normal player, I guess. You need the backup in order to do that. Then they have the spellcasters. You prefer it to go from Shadowheart, because then you have another level 3 slot or another level 4 slot to double up a big chromo, and that matters. So take that in mind. This comes from my playthroughs, actual playthroughs. Also, I'm never like min-max. Oh, I can take this and this and that, and remove this and remove that, and that will give me the 101 instead of the 100 that they found so far. I'm not doing that. I just like what I get. Slow hypnotic pattern would be the best for you here, I think. I took counterspell, and I'm telling you, it was incorrect to take counterspell. I guess that you can do hypnotic pattern. It comes from your charisma. You can upgrade your charisma, of course. You can upgrade your spell DC. We want more to concentrate on attacks, so I prefer something like Sleet Storm, because we don't have silence ourselves unless you have silence. We're not going to need invisibility on this with what I got, and I'll show you in a moment. So pick whatever you want, pick whatever you like. Lightning Bolt is fine, Fly is fine, Slow, Sleet Storm, Hypnotic Pattern. And if you want to replace spell, replace spell. Let's say take whatever you want to. It really, we don't need a lot of spells to make this work. Why is this still on? I thought I removed it. I'm sorry. So, at this juncture of 6-3, these are all items that you can get some only in Act 3, but okay. What we can do. I'll just make it look like I'm an orderly fashion man who actually likes to arrange stuff and not keep a mess. Okay, so our cantrips, these two, as you can see, this is going to be merely in case of, I don't know why. I put the arrows of lightning here just for quote unquote for show, because we are going on to the lightning route here. The thing with level 6 is that you get the additional charisma modifier to your damage. So it doesn't show it here, but you do get it. On this one you don't get it. So the spells that so these are CCs. These are our main damagers. These are tricks. I'll put lights like here at the. Sometimes I remember they're there. And these are your actions right now. You surprise the enemy. You can do all of these. This will do 1d10 plus 4 in a second. Times 3. Now it's plus 3. You're gonna take a second feat, you can take plus charisma, but of course you can also get birthright. Do it however you like. Most of the charisma players are better players than me, where it concerns spells and modifiers, but there's more than that to the game, as far as I'm concerned. Now, why am I saying this is a juncture? There are a few ways that you can go from here. You can go to 7-5, to 8-4 or 9-3. With, of course, Sorcerer being the leader. You can also take, if you want, a dip of 1 level in Bard, just for the Bardic Inspiration. You can do that. I wouldn't. If you take Cleric, take Tempest Cleric, take at least 2. I'll do an 8. I'll do the 8-3 into an 8-4 just to show you what you can get at level 9 and what the feats are. What the feats are is the 3rd feat. You make your own choices, and then we go to the other routes that I'm babbling about for so long. Level 7 Sorcerer. I'm saying it's level Sorcerer, and game just doesn't understand I'm trying to entertain people. As far as spells go, Dimension Door is probably the best. I mean, if you're playing on Honor, pick Dimension Door number 1. Greater Visibility is just broken. If you on Assassins, if you know, you know. I usually pick Ice Storm as the second spell from Replace One. Wall of Fire is always good, but it requires concentration, which we do not want to do. We want to concentrate on haste. So, if I have Dimension Door, I don't necessarily need Misty Step. Also, you can get Misty Step for so many items, it's just ridiculous. So let's say I want Ice Storm now. I might not necessarily need Chrome Orb, but I'm going to just chuck more and more and more and more damage stuff rather than CC on level 8. First of all, we'll take another spell, pick whatever you like. At this juncture, I guess Counterspell is much better. I finished one of mine at like I did it like 7 Sorcerer because I wanted the 2 Cleric, and it's too little. I'm telling you, if you do 8 or more Counterspells, fine. I would prefer to advise if you do 9 or more. Again, pick whatever you like, replace whatever you like, and the second feat. Second feat is alert. Unfortunately, we don't get you don't get stuff like from Barb or from Gloomstalker here. There's no reason to also go into Gloomstalker as I can see you get only 1 level spell slot worth. But if you think, for example, 5 Sorcerer into 4 Ranger, 3 Rogue is good, you know, do it. Just to have a 3-3 there. 6-3-3 sounds actually better because I would prefer to have Spell Sniper and the spells from Storm Sorcery or the add-ons rather than just another random feat. But Alert is definitely one of the best. I think Alert is the best because the only one that I think is as good relatively to this very game, because in 5e this is different, is Tavern Brawl. And Tavern Brawl is fitting monks and throw mobs, basically. Of course, throw Lich Knights and whatever. But Alert is fitting every single character, no matter the class, no matter its dexterity, no matter the background, no matter if it's an NPC. Alert is the only one that works widely the best, and without ever being like less good than anything else. Amazing. So, 3rd feat if you want. Ability improvement is always good. Now we're talking about stuff that actually have choices. Elemental Adapt if you would like for lightning. Never found the need. Because lightning resistance is very, very far and apart. What you can do, by the way, is take Magic Initiate Cleric. You get cantrips, which means you can, you get guidance, and for talks you can get thaumaturgy. As far as spells goes, just take Create Water, because Create Water level 2 can be a cantrip. But if you want to be bubbly, tanky, untouchable, just do your turn and Sanctuary yourself. This way you don't have to dip into Cleric. necessarily. Um, Everything is with advantage. I barely had issues that I needed lucky on. Sharpshooter is fine if you have enough pluses for your weapon attacks, which do matter. What else did I like here? Wallcaster is always a classic one. I think I took ability improvement and put the charisma on 18 or dex or 18. I don't remember. It was before I started playing with it so much that I forgot what feats I took. But the other option is, of course, go to 9 Sorcerer, and that is huge because you get to have 2 level 5 spells. Now, don't take anything that requires concentration. So we take Cone of Cold, and as you can see, concentration, 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 concentration. This is RP, and these are concentration. This is the only non-concentration one we have. However, you can do something here that I usually don't do, or don't offer to people. If you have Misty Step from other places, like an amulet or the boots, and you feel like you don't want to waste slots on it, take off the Misty Step. You can actually take off Ice Storm, because the idea of what I have here, for example, is insect plague, because if they can't move and they have disadvantage, and because they are the difficult terrain, and you make them prone anyway without Ice Storm because you have ice arrows, we just electrify them and they can't move or react. Not to mention the paralyzations and other options that you have. This is like, okay, this is the cherry on top. Just this cherry is poisonous, basically. Now, telekinesis, hold monster, are fantastic. I'd say you can dominate person as well. You can also go for the cloud kill if you have the ring, anti-poison. These are more for poison builds, which I haven't done. You can also get the confusion here if you already go for concentration. Remember, as long as you're concentrating on these, you do not have haste by yourself on yourself. And that's it. That's I call it classic. You know, it's not classic. It's solo sorcerer rogue. As far as itemization goes, and let's go. I tried to put as many stuff as I could that could benefit you as a sorcerer, as an assassin, and as both. Now, because if you don't pick high elf, you have a couple of shields that you can pick. This is probably the one that you're gonna want first. It's pretty early in the game, on Act 1. This one, I don't remember exactly what you get, but it's +1 stealth, which is terrific. And of course, you can go and just have Catholic shields on you. As far as weapons go, okay, so I like having these two are why I like having fighter or the proper cleric on me. I love heavy crossbows, but as far as shortbow goes, Darkfire shortbow is terrific. As soon as you get it, you can keep it on yourself the whole game and never feel like you're missing on something. I'm missing a bow here. There you go. No, where the? This is weird. I know I prepared it. I have it on someone in the party. So there's the bow that gives you +3 to initiative, which for some reason it's probably in the camp for some odd reason, in the camp stash. I have to. No, here it is. It's the Rider Longbow. I'd say this one is the best in slot for this specific character. With the deck shot, of course, being a tremendous replacement. First off, You get +3 on advantage on initiative rolls. You have to be first, quote unquote, have to be. This will guarantee that I'd say whatever you have as difference between the very high dex and alert opponents that you might get. The death shot just does what we need it to do, and that subtract 1 from crit hits. Also, it's +2 versus +1, but the +3 in initiative is probably better, in my mind. Otherwise, and of course, Dark Viper, and I don't do double hand crossbows. If I did double hand crossbows, I'd shoot both, drop 1. That because I need to reload 1. I get that even the heavy ones we don't do it with here, but it doesn't seem, I don't want to just break the game, and at least if I do it like this, which I really, really like. Again, this depends on proficiencies, of course. As you can see, you can take Gith, I think, to get that. Some of the, I think, Drow can do this, can pick this up. Anyway, the good thing about this is it gives you another level 3 Scorching Ray, which is 4 bolts that go each 2d6, and if it's a surprise round, 4d6 automated, unless you roll like 1, 2. And as you can see, I'm not even trying, except for the +2 here of the weapon, we have +12. I don't remember where the keen attack comes from. This is, and anyone who played in Archers know that this can be really easily higher. This is without Sharpshooter, of course. As far and I'll go from what's easy here. Classic, simple, one fits all. For this character, there are better ones that you want. There are other party members you want to put this on, I think. Second best, in my mind, is the Cloak of the Weave. You get +1 to 70 DC and the spell attack rolls. That's like saying you got +1 on your charisma rolls, which is the spells that I mentioned earlier, much like Scorching Ray and Chromatic Orb. But the best for us is obviously the Assassin one, which, as long as you're hiding, it's 1 less. This works, of course, when you're invisible as well. I'll put it just as the best in slot, but you don't have to go with this. You have this on Last Light In, which can be the top of Act 2. This one I think only from 3, and this doesn't. This is something I wouldn't put on a sorcerer unless it's your only caster with elements. I guess. As far as boots go, there aren't a lot of boots. So, the prime one for this character is Freedom of Movement and Longstrider. First of all, the Longstrider by itself is terrific, but Freedom of Movement guarantees that you're a sorcerer that no one touches, really. And as you can see, this is medium armor. This is why you want that cleric. This is what, and all of this slowly but surely made me realize that quote-unquote naked sorcerer rogue is probably less good than the add-ons. Obviously, you get Disintegrating Nightwalkers, which I think is the best boots in the game. You can't prone, you can't fall off your feet, period. You can be only pushed, basically, sort of, and you get Misty Step. By far, I think, the best boots in the game, and you don't have to have any kind of proficiency in any kind of armor. Space Boots is in case you want Dimension Door not from your spells. I like to change stuff, and I'll show you with the helmets a lot. I do this, and of course with the rings and the amulets. So you do this once, you get it out. You just want to make sure that your first fight of the day, you got Dimension Door, and if you're hastened and you got a spare action while your other members can, split the damage or keep a boss busy. You can switch it on an action, but you're hastened, so you have another action anyway. So you change to Disintegrated Nightwalkers. You miss a step somewhere, and then you cast a spell. Boots of Striding, giving you momentum, and you cannot be prone again. This is why you have, spell with concentration, which is probably haste. Another one that doesn't let them deal with you. But the caveat is it's medium armor. And of course, there's the classic jump distance shoes. This weird say Swire shoes. These are terrific for anyone that actually uses jump in any way. This is more for my throw bob than anyone. I would say, like, if you have these, of course, these are kind of quote unquote advanced, but in the game, you actually get this from Near, which is in like levels 5, 6 of yours in the Underdark, depending on how you want to play the game. This will serve you the whole game easy. Let's go to the good stuff. As you can see, I have tons of helmets and circlets that can be good here. Okay, so we have the encrusted. You know what? I'll put the encrusted in frost here, and we're gonna have a talk about encrusted in frost in a moment. Once per condition. Wait a minute. What did I do? I have 2 hats like this? Wow, I didn't even know it's possible. So what usually I have is the shadow here. This you get from still in Act 1 in favor of a mission that you get. Shrouded in Shadows is good exactly for being an assassin. You get invisibility for 2 turns. The concentration ends anyway after you attack, because then you haste. And that is the only caveat in all of that. That you're gonna have to have the haste later. But you get this early enough that by the time you get the haste, you will change this one to another one alongside, or have one alongside with it more correctly. Also, you can use it for other purposes. And as light armor, it just works. So what I like to do, for example, this is open, okay, is have this, let's say with, so the winner has +2 bonus to saving throw against spells. This shouldn't be here. This is not best in slow, something like that. Okay, whenever you deal with a weapon attack. So for example, what I would do, go invisible, change, stop the turn. Attack, gain surprise, goodbye. That's it. And all of these are with, and you have Scorching Ray, Eldritch Blast, and, Witch Bolt, Chromatic Orb, and Ray of Frost, alongside, we can upgrade the damage here as crits at 17 or lower, without even being obscure or something like that. Other helms that you could consider: the Justicia one, if you go medium armor route, it's -1 to crit. This is, of course, will serve you as well. You can see the dark and you get +2 on initiative. You can put this with the sea invisibility it gives you, which you are not gonna need by the time you get it, to increase your initiative even more, and then you can exchange it for the Hellrider Longbow. I wouldn't suggest it. It's not that good. Arcane Synergy is a condition that gives you additional damage to affected entities. Sorry. Spellcaster ability modifier, which means +3 or +4. We're not gonna have that high. Not very usable, but not that bad. I had it for a few rounds at least, of even a couple of days, I'd say, of adventure in this game. Saravox. You can't be frightened and cannot be affected by other emotion-altering conditions. This just basically proofs you off anything that is wisdom concerned, as far as saving throws go. Also, number you need to roll by crit is one less. Again, medium armor. Shudder, Spine Shudder Amulet. English is not mine today. Whenever you deal damage with range spell attack, it is kind of good for us. You inflict 2 reverberations. There's a lot of reverberations in the game, and we're gonna see that in a moment as well. This circlet gives you Scorching Ray. It gives you 1 Scorching Ray a day, and that's enough. This is why, by the way, I really didn't pick Scorching Ray for this build. Because I had it, you use it, you switch it. It's the same like using the Surgeon's Amulet, which we'll get to, that is doing once per long rest. You can check it like this if you really want. Keep it with the T for examining, and you can see it's attack roll and it's once per long rest. Then you can know how the spell affects. Because if you look at the Night Stalkers, Night Walkers, we get it once every short rest, which is insane. You get 3 free level 2 spells and probably the best level 2 spell in the game. At least for Honor mode. Horns of the Berserker is of course not for here, but it's easier afterwards. The thing is, it doesn't give you the +2 initially for the first one. Now, of course, you have advantage on those, but also because this doesn't require melee and it doesn't require you to have any proficiency in armor, you can have this as well. And of course, there's the Birthright. +2 charisma here is like +1 to attack rolls and +1 to some damages. That's it. We are not. If you're playing this as the face, put this because it will give you for the checks and stuff. But do it however you want. You don't have to have what is it called? Very rare items or unique items. You can have uncommon and rare stuff altogether. As far as armors go, I'd say that Cath Cloth, Graceful Cloth is the classic for any kind of assassin. It gives you just anything you need and want in a small package. You don't get an armor class from this, right? But you get +2 dex, right? So +2 dex is +1 AC. It's +1 to initiative. It's +1 to attacks. It's +1 to damage. For example, here it's a +6. +2 from Winter Enchantment, +4 from the increased dex. But we want to change it eventually. The medium armor you want, of course, which is the best, is Armor of Agility. So we're not proficient, but we still get 20 on that, just to show. Oh, sorry. Second option is like Armor of Devotion if you want to go through the Cleric with heavy armor. Because this will give you a channel's charge. I'll get to that. And you want that one. You get 1 per short rest. This is the 4th one. This is like the Bard thing that they can short rest 4th time. This does more damage than what the Bard does, I think. Eventually, at least. Hide armor +2. I have to give props to this one. This is one of the simplest magic items you can get in the game. That is much like the Cloak of Protection. Is very, very simple, to the point, elegant. And it gives you exactly what you need. You get into 16 again, of course, again, we are starting from 13 without armor. We have 16 if we go into Draconic Bloodline, which something here is in armor. Sorry. I forgot to switch it after for the purposes of what we were doing. Another option is, of course, to go lightning rounds with lightning charges. You're not going to regret this. You operate this via just starting up with magic missiles, just upcast it all the way you can, and you get all your charges rather immediately. Another one I will give some props to. I tried it. It's really not much. I think it's more like a Monk Shadow or a Darkness build. To Dexter CC or Mail, a couple of necrotic points, much like acid that reduces armor class. Necrotic not allowing healing for some parts, which is of course niche, but it still has its worth, which is why I picked Bone Shield to begin with. Oh, brother, gloves. I couldn't decide what I wanted more in, like, okay, so you get Gloves of Thievery in Act 1, and then you have the Graceful Cloth for the rest. But these are needed. The first ones you get, which are not here for some odd reason, is the one from the Grove that on weapon attack you bane the opponent. It comes from the Goblin leader in that fight. Take it, slap it on, and you're gonna have a lot of tough choices to make. What I suggest, again, as soon as you get the Gloves of Thievery, throw it down here alongside with the other gloves and switch between them when you need, until you don't need these gloves. But always have like another set of gloves ready. I have to get the... Oh, it's not, okay. One sec. Okay. Other gloves that you can have. I'd say the best that you can have are Legacy of the Masters. If you like your weapons, and we're gonna go through them, you just need to attack once with a weapon for this to work, I'd say. Spell Seeking Gloves, very good. I don't know in what point you don't have advantage, but it's more when you have advantage and a disadvantage that you don't have the advantage. Wondrous Gloves, again, +1 to AC, and if you have Bardic Inspiration. But this is, I wanted this because you can do this also, again, like I said, with a dip to 1 Bard. This is not bad. You just switch it, use it, switch it back. And Bard works off Charisma, so you'll enjoy this. Gloves of Archery, I think this is quite the... Other than the Bane ones, I think these are... It's not the best, it's definitely not an S tier, but this is the top of it. This is something that you can slap on and keep for the whole game. With the quote-unquote wrong character that uses longbows. Luminous Gloves, of course, is something that we really do want, but we are not doing radiant damage. If you are going to take the radiant damage route, there are some routes that do it, and most of them go, of course, through the Cleric. And of course, there's the Gemini Gloves to do another creature, to target another creature. I guess these are the best in slot. Where do we go from here? Amulets. Amulets, I guess I have less than rings. First of all, Amulet of the Wind Rider and the Amulet from the Beholder and others that give you spells. Always have these ready. These are, for me, always something like this. I'm usually with the Assassin slapping this. Slapping this. Once every long rest, I paralyze someone for 2 turns. Which is usually, as far as I can, a boss or a mini-boss. Or just a caster of any kind. The Fist, for example, I have the bows. The bowman that, you know, you miss sometimes, and they're not surprised a lot because they have the conversation first. Paralyzing that guy and having your rest of the party then act is better than nothing, at least. As far as amulets go, again, amulet of Misty Step. Just replace it when you need it or when you think you're gonna need it. Psychic Spark, I say, is very, very fitting this build. Even if you have one thing that Radiant Orbs, one thing that Arcane Acuity or Synergy, one thing that Lightning Charges, your magic missiles are going to be extraordinary in this build. Necklace of Elemental Augmentation. This is... how will I put this? You don't need this extra. Again, you just don't need this extra. Also, there's the amulet. Okay, a few more amulets that you get. Amulet of the Devout for +2 bonus to spell save DC. This is in case you want to concentrate on non-haste stuff. You can. Also, this is, of course, better with the Cleric. You use this one and replace it. Just have everything here. It really doesn't matter. Spellcrox Amulet. This is depending on how you play your group. In my case, I have Shadow Artier as a level 12 Cleric. Will here is a 12 level Sorcerer. Usually I use her to summon... So for example, in this one I use her for Planner Ally. In this case I summoned a Cambion today, I was greedy. And triple Raise Dead for Flying Ghouls. And then you get another one from Marco Hashkir. You can do the same on this character, of course. I didn't even use today the Koreska Favor. Today is like the day of the game. How delicious. But you really use what you want. If you're going to do a lot of lightning stuff, Lightning Blast is very good. You do it even just once. I mean, it's the once you do it in a game is enough. You have so many lightning charges. And they renew themselves all the time, and you can just... Okay, I'll just do a level 1 magic missile. It's 3 or, as you can see, 4 missiles every time. It just recharges everything. Next up are the rings. So, my rings for the assassin usually. Invisibility and blur plus. Not this. So this is one of those that you, much like the paralyzation, you put here for exchanging with others. The classic smuggler's ring, of course. Don't forget this is -1 charisma. Even if you have it as solo ring on you, you can still put it and unequip it. Don't worry about it. We need to damage with a cantrip. You gain Arcane Synergy for 2 turns. If you still doubt why I took Spell Snapper or everything, yeah, I took it for Eldritch Blast. I will admit, I don't need Warlock to make this work still. And you'll see. Caustic Band, of course, should be here, but you can use it, of course, at the start of the game when you get it. Do note, it's, I think, very rare on Honor. On Honor. But this is why we are here. Not you. Where are you? This one. Yeah, I put it on the wrong one. So this one is whenever you deal elemental damage, you infuse your weapon. Make sure you have always the bow ready for that. But we are here for this. After hitting a creature with a weapon attack, which we will do to surprise them, alongside usually with a special arrow just for fun. I think I have like 20 of everything in the camp right now. Spares. Anyway, you do that. You can cast an illusion or enchantment as a bonus action.
All right. Go.
What's this? of course I'm paying for being dumb. Anyway, you have the invisibility and blur, and other spells you can choose um, as a cantrip instead. So alongside with Misty Step, you have two more ways to defend yourself, distract everyone. And what you can do, by the way, because you do that with the haste, is you can't minor illusion then, but it won't do anything during battle, I think. But it will distract some from looking at you, which means at that point you can sneak on them from hiding. Next up is the bows, and of course that shot's gonna be the end all, be all go to. Second option is, like I said, Hellrider Longbow because of the +3 to initiative, and the Fairy Fire is very, very good. Darkfire Shortbow is good wherever you put it, except for, I'd say, if you have a Strength build, for which Titan Bowstring, and I just love Giant Breaker and Herald. I probably like Giant Breaker the most because really just minuses more, even more of the attack rolls of your opponents. As far as melee goes, okay, that is a bit else. So, Murderous Cut I put here because I put the Sorcerer Greatsword here. Don't take Sorcerer Greatsword. I was thinking actually to use it, and it's dropping very, very quickly. The correct answer, so to speak, is going to be the Dagger. Because the Dagger is throwable by any character, no matter how strength they might have. And you get, because it's a thrown weapon, you get the effect from it. This is why I put Murderous Cut here. The option that you also have is Rain Dancer because you can do Quicken Spell into Create Water. As far as shields go, if you go somehow with shield like with a human or half-elf, this is the earliest one I think that is pretty good. Simple and to the point, saving throw +1. This one has stealth +1. This one is Catholic Shield, which got you +1 to spell DC and attack rolls. You can also, of course, put a simple +3 shield just for +1 AC. It will make sense. As you can see, this is why I don't like the Draconic Bloodline. Whenever I put something, I need to think, oh, wait a minute, is it this kind of armor, that kind of armor, this kind of thing, not that kind of thing. This is counted as light armor. And this is why we're going to go the Storm Sorcery way in a moment. And I would suggest in general. And cross it with Frost and doing cold damage. This one you get to assemble during the Underdark. And that's what I'm going to say about that. This is fantastic if you go the cold way. And for example, you have the hat that gives you Encrusted in Frost. It's of course not the only ones. There are others that do it. I picked the Sparky Points for the same reason I picked the Longsword. I was greedy and I was trying things. The correct answer, so to speak again, is of course the staff. The rest of them just drop very, very fast. And of course, Mel's first staff, you get it pretty early, and it's very, very good to have. As far as other weapons, you want finesse weapons, but you also want usable weapons. Rupturing Blade, again, you're not going to really use them in melee combat, but just in case. So, Rupturing Blade has Searing Blood, which makes a lot of damage alongside with your crit, probably, and alongside with the roll for the fire. Knife of the Under Mountain King is a must for any quote-unquote champion build. Inferno Rapier, in case you did what you need to do with Will, you'll get this, and mostly I'd use it for the Cambion, but like this is much better because it replaces the Dexterity with Charisma and of course the Umbra. Sorry, I just noticed. I think that something went wrong with the mic. Um. Okay. So this is wait a minute. Should be here. Something here is not light. This, for example, is a pretty good itemization. I think you can make it a lot better. Exchange between the stuff you have. Drink your potions. Drink your elixirs. Enjoy it. You're gonna have much more of a novel damage than you think you can have. And now I'll go to the build that I actually eventually had and went through.
Be brief.
How do we get from there to here? I have no idea. I don't remember that. We're gonna do this again. And this time,
Dost thou require?
we're gonna do things differently. Now, we're still starting from Sorcerer, only this time we're taking Storm Sorcery. Not leaving the abilities as they are. Again, this is not like a +1 here, +1 there kind of character. If you have an idea for that, of course, like I said, let me know. As much like before, I'm keeping the same, but this time, like I said, we don't go immediately to Rogue. So we're going to Chromatic Orb. And this will be our main goal starting level 3. This is the classic start of Storm Sorcery with Tempest Cleric. On level 2 we go Cleric. Or choose Tempest Domain. This gives us all weapons and all armors that we want to have. We're still not going to have heavy armor. On cantrips I'm still going to take the same that I did before. Take whatever you want. And as far as spells go, now look, we're not going to scale off Wisdom. Still, you can have very good attacks. You don't need a healing wall from here. You're not going to be the healer of the group. The most important one is Sanctuary. And if you want to start using your concentration early, you can take Bless. I would say take Create Water. You're going to use it a lot. Level 3. Yeah, I don't know why this appears. We take our last spell in Cleric, basically. Pick whatever you like again. I still will take Guiding Bolt because you have a lot of pluses in general, and you can put some Bane and stuff on people. Take Bless. Again, this will drop later, and you can change these as much as you want. Why? What? Hello? This is not supposed to happen. Okay, now it's better. Why does every time the game adds this spell? I mean, why? Okay. If you don't know by now, what you can do at this level is cast Chromatic Orb, Thunder, and it will be 24 damage once per short rest. That's a lot of damage. Because, and if you do it on crit, it's 48. The second option is by wet go into the 32 with lightning. These are level 1 spells. I'm not casting those as 2s. This is insane. This is 32 and 24 damage. You can consider your how you call this, resistances to it. Obviously you can pick either of the rest, but we're going through Thunder and Lightning. If you do Thunder here, it's 48 damage. This is insane. 48 damage. And again, this is 48 damage, but this also provided from wet. So you go 16 and goes into 32. And this doesn't go into 48. I'm sorry, I mixed up. That happens. Sorcerer level 2 at character level 4 is not gonna happen. This is where we go rogue. And if you want to go to 3 sorcerer to start your game lighter on that, for you know, like a 5 ranger into 3 rogue, that's fine. That works. I'm gonna do this like I actually played this character. Again, stealth and perception. Cunning actions, we did this before, and assassin. Why? And now we're gonna start having fun. Now, the problem with what I did is, you can say, is I didn't improve my spell damage in any way. But I got the assassin stuff off the already off. On level 4, getting the rogue 1, unlike level 8, sorry, on level 6 or later, has an effect on the game. And if you go, let's say, 7-2 into the 3 rogue to get the final at level 12, which is you shouldn't, the sneak attack is not relevant, the cunning actions are less relevant, and the assassin now is just a topping that costs you 3 instead of doing like something like action surge, which would give you actually earlier benefits. Assassin is just that damn good, much like Thief. But this isn't a tabletop. In this game, Thief is better. Not on this character. This character has something else to go with. So now you got plus 2d6 on your sneak attack, which is fantastic. And you can start surprising everyone while actually just dishing a lot of spell damage. You still have 6 spell slots. So even if you have 6 level 1s, 3 of them will do max damage, either 24 or 32, because you're gonna have them wet. And again, if you go to create water level 2 as upcast, this is a cantrip. This stays on 2. Nothing changed. And they're wet for just the same. And now we're going back to Sorcerer. But I want my feet. You don't get your feet. You have your own feet, I guess. Level 2 of the Sorcerer. Now, if you can go feet and take Spell Sniper now. You don't really have a lot of to do, but if you already in level 7, I actually should have been through the crash, which means you should have gotten the Knife of the Mountain King. You can take Spell Sniper right now, actually, and go all the way into 6 Sorcerer. The Cleric is what holds the spell damage in place, and the Rogue does the rest for the RP of the stealth and lock picking and everything else. This is by far the most multitasking character I think I made. And I made it even more multitasking in some way, which is because of the Jack of all trades run I did. As we were, pick your level 1 spell here. Shield, Witch Bolt, Ice Knife. Enjoy. So as far as class passives, distance and twin for the same reasons. You want to replace a spell, you shouldn't. Okay, we go to level 2. I would still do the same. But the difference is, let's say I remove the Witch Bolt here. I think I would take in this level, first of all, the Scorching Ray, and then the Mirror Image. And that's because you might need to have more damage on you because you're going into level 8. Now, The thing is, I probably still would take mirror images because you have 3 other characters who got to level 8. And if there are 5 threes or some 6-2s, the 6-2s are going to be 6-3 next time. You're going to be quote unquote 6-3 because 6 caster levels. And you have 2 pace of advancement in power. And your boost is going to be even bigger, I think, the higher you go. But we're not going to change a lot of things. Your max is going to be basically on Sorcerer 6. And then you want to get to 7 because of level 4 spells, but you don't have to. You can get just the second feat. Level 4 Sorcerer, level 9 of everyone. Take the cantrip you still need. A spell, again, take Mirror Image. You want to replace. And yeah, I know it's just now I get the feat, but I'm still taking Spell Sniper. And yes, I'm still taking Eldritch Blast. This is not even a question. You get 3 rays. Each of them creates orbs, radiant orbs, or arcane acuity, or reverberation, or something. And if you have the one that does it from radiant or thunder or lightning, enjoy yourself. You're gonna have more stacks than they have option to attack you, I guess. Again, level 5, first of all, take haste. You want to replace for another one, take another one. I'm not going through all the options again. And then level 6, which I didn't show before. Call Lightning, Slit Storm, Gust of Wind. Because we are already in the Cleric, we are losing 2 spells. But you can remove Create Water from the ready ones. So you're not losing that slot, actually. And you quote-unquote regain Thunder Wave, which you're not... If you're not using it, then I guess your build is a success. Of the party of you. Subclass features, when you cast lightning or thunder damage that's level 1 or higher, you cause a small, I'd call it, pushed core lightning. And everybody in there takes lightning damage and or thunder damage, and your resistance to lightning and thunder damage, which makes a lot of sense, of course. As far as spells go, take your last spell here. This is where I picked Counterspell, which was wrong. I went to level 7, but this is was simply incorrect. Lightning Bolt, Shield, Web. Shatter is good. You don't have a lot of attacks. Attack roll. Ice Knife is an attack roll. Replace the spell, get another spell. And now you need to decide if you want level 4 spells, which you get, again, a couple, which probably is going to be Ice Storm and Dimension Door, like we talked about. Or... Wait, no. Game, be nice. Thank you. You take your second feat as an actor, as alert. Which is what I would do, let's say, if I ran this character now. Although I probably would say that, you know, rethinking it during what I'm doing now, if you go this build with Storm and Tempest, actually go 1 Sorcerer into 2 Cleric into 3 Sorcerer and then take your Rogue levels is going to be just A-okay. I don't think there's any wrong with that, and you can also do it while you have Twin Spells, spells on level 3 into Upcast. You not yet can have Haste, but if you have another 5 level 5 Sorcerer, Wizard or whatnot, you can probably do it. Or level 6, I think you can get it with various... with Baldur Druid. I'm not 100% remember each one and their stuff. So, other things I wanted to show. There's Encrusted in Frost where you can get. This is on her. Well, let's see what else we have that is... Okay. Also on Shadowheart, because I didn't want to take from the Cleric, the actual Cleric Sorcerer, the stuff. Not all of them, at least. You can create Mental Fatigue. Now this counts against your attacks, regular if they're regular, or against your spells. And because we are creating a lot of, you can create a lot of orbs with itemization. This one doesn't do it because I left that specifically here on Shadowheart. So as you can see, every one of them mental fatigue for 2 turns. So they have minus to their wisdom saves, which is only one that we may care, because if you want to do hold person, hold monster, dominate person, telekinesis, I guess. I don't know if that works on that as well. Maybe it's strength. And hypnotic pattern and others, it's just gonna more easily going to work. And there's some psychic damage that I don't get to because I kill everyone before. If you want to know about other builds that I have, let me know. There's one including Warlock, one including Bard, one including both Bard and Warlock, and one including all the 3 subclasses here, all the 3 classes here that are represented: Cleric, Warlock, and Bard. The only one that I'm still in question of is Fighter, but I want to keep the Fighter for a Wizard build, in which I will not have any Charisma stuff. That build is... I have a problem with it because I don't have all the options that I have from Sorcerer because of the double up. And that is missing. Also the quickening spell. But without quickening spell, you really don't want to have Thief here, but Assassin, which I think is why this might actually more fit a Wizard. Again, I'm putting this down, putting this up. I want people to take this. I want people to break it. I haven't seen any kind of Sorcerer Assassin on YouTube. I haven't seen anyone playing this. I haven't seen anyone suggesting it. There's one YouTube streamer that not long ago explained how Sorcerer and Rogue mesh, and they went to the Thief and they said this is not good. This is like a C. The only thing is that this is on C is creative. I had ridiculous fights. It's on Tactician, I will admit. That all the characters I made were on Tactician. On Honor I have one that is, again, a 3-1, and one that is a Storm Sorcery Tempest one, and I want to make both of them assassins. Each one can do something else in that criteria. And both of them can have some of the items, because even if you have +2 or 3, the next one... So if you... Okay, I'll explain. The first one that you get from, let's say, Champion itself or Spell Sniper increases your chances by 100%. From 5% to 10. The next one is 50. And then it goes by 1/3, which is 33, by 1/4, which is 25, and it dwindles down, of course. You can have 2 characters that each of them has 20% with advantage. It becomes a lot easier to crit with them, because then it becomes 36%, I think, chance to hit, to crit, with 2 separate characters. So each 3 attacks, on average, let's say it's a 33, is a crit by itself, not even with surprised. So since you have 2 of them, which both of them double and both of them maybe quicken, that's 6 spells. At the very least, you can get the quickened ones critted up. And I think that's the max you can get in this game with at least 2 characters. If you want to go with Morning Frost, for example, there's one thing I'm doing here on Will, I think, is to have the dual wielder and have another stuff. So what I have on Will, for example, is Inferno Rapier with the Morning Frost. Yep, that's the one I did. Both of them. So first of all, you get a Cambion and the rest of the advantages, and you get the ice stuff. This is good in your main hand because it's finesse. Um, play this. I really like, but if I can ask you for anything, is this: start with this from level 1. Do not respec the character, like, sort of ever. See where it goes. See how it does. Trust me, there are so many small stuff that you might miss with this that I'm still missing. I feel like I'm still missing with this character that you can do from so many pieces of other builds that I think there's not going to be an optimized version of this per se, but more like an optimized basis for this. That is this, like the 5 sorcerer, 3 assassin. We do, this is the base, and from here we take 4 levels, like this or that. I think this will be the eventual answer. But I'm weird enough to do this as a 3 sorcerer, 3 assassin, 2 warlock, 2 fighter, 2 bard, or or 2 cleric. The last 4, pick 3 of. And that's about it. This is, I know this is long, this is tedious, and this took me a shit ton of time. I don't know how to edit well. I'll leave it to any one of you to do whatever you can with this, and that's about it. Thank you.